Hello. So I've been watching a channel called either Things I Learned from Barry Harris or What I Learned from Barry Harris. I can't remember. But he's this really good jazz guitarist who learnt with him directly, I think, who breaks down some of the more simple concepts. And although he's a guitarist, I think these are ideas that I can use too. And so what I thought I'd do is I watched the first three of his episodes and looked at the concepts that they were talking about, made some notes on them, which I'll show you. There's one, there's episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and I just thought I'd go through them and see what is useful for me and what's not. So I think, first of all, go and check out Things I Learned from Barry Harris, the guitarist. He's really good, and he explains it better than I am. This is more of me trying to practice the ideas. So the first thing is, it's the idea that there's a kind of a blues feeling in jazz that you need to get used to, and it's simply just like playing scales over blues chords, basically. So that's it. It's 1/7, 4/7, 1/7, 4/7, 1 major 7, down to the sharpened 1, which I assume is that chord, which should naturally lead to, but I think we just skip a few steps and go straight to the 5. And the first thing is just like practice that in lots of keys. So I'll do it in a few, just to see if I can do it with a metronome too, and maybe swung. I have no idea if this is useful information to know. Just because it's the first thing he taught, I'm going to guess that there's something in it. So let's try do ba da ba da ba da ba do ba do ba do, that kind of thing. So now let's go to G, why not? I gotta think about what key I'm going to. Let's try that one again in G. I'm probably go a bit faster because it's going to force me into making a few more mistakes. Then need to remember where to go to 5. So it's good, it's just about getting the movement, isn't it? Oops, I did. One more time, that's it in G. Fine, a bit scrappy, but that's it. Let's do it in D. Fine, let's do it in A. Which would be what is that jump? Let's go down. So in A. awkward. And then you gotta go to D. It's a little awkward. Let's do it again. Just get that 5. That's always the 5, finding the 5. I don't think I've got to plan it out beforehand. One more time just for safety. I've no idea how this is useful. I think it's just building in the muscle memory for these scales. Right? F sharp major. Tricky one, obviously a difficult key. Yeah, another try. D flat. A flat. Ah, gotta remember that. A flat. What key am I in? And then it's the 5. One time tricky. The flat keys are harder than the sharp keys. D flat major. This is the one that's important for me. And then F is the final one, right? More time. That's it. We're back to square one. So I know that's quite long. It's not as long as I thought it would be, but I'm gonna do it anyway for now because I think it's a cool exercise. And the next one was basically the same kind of deal, but on the rhythm changes chords. So episode 2 goes into the rhythm changes, and I think basically I'll go through the. I'm only gonna do this in B flat because I think otherwise it's pointless. So. That's the first time. Then you repeat. 7. Then you do 1. Then you go 2. And we're kind of back to the start. You do A1 again. And then I suppose you can do it on an endless loop. So we're going to try with a metronome, just by itself, get really quick. So that's all in the table. Let's go faster, just for fun. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. My swing is really bad. So it's something I've never practiced in my life. So I find it hard. Cool, and then what you can do is fit in that around the existing chords you've got, and you've got a template for practice, basically. So what confused me is the fact that I only seem to have 2 chords. And they weren't the chords I was expecting. But then I realised what was going on. So each of these scales has 2 chords in them. make more sense. So we're going to have to go way slower to make this work. Going to have to remember what's going on. Nothing complicated with the left hand. So that's an F7, right? F minor 7. And then we go straight to D for the 1. So that works really well, but I'm not very good at it yet, basically. Let's try and get that first section sorted first. So we've got... We'll go as high, so... And then we've got to think. So here the left hand needs to find more light, I think, so I've got to remember where I'm going. Got to think about this carefully. So it's that. So we've got... so difficult. So I'm not going to go through too much of a massive routine with that, but I found that really useful. I'll show you that chart for those who are interested. It's that. So I figured writing it down is quite useful. As in, this is works in any key, but this in B flat. That's B flat, major 7, ascending to the 7th. F7, dominant 7. Repeat, and then B flat, dominant 7, that leads to E flat, dominant 7, and then you just kind of go back to the start. 1, major 7, 5, F, dominant 7. So you do that the first time. The second time round, you repeat all of the rest, but for the last 2 bars you do just B flat, major 7 on the way up. Then I've notated this degrees of the scale, but this is just D7, G7, C7, and F7, and that leads you back to the start. Seems to me that everyone's versions of the rhythm changes is marginally different, but they all follow the same basic idea. Cool. So they're the first 2, which I found pretty interesting and pretty useful as foundational skills. I'm kind of hoping something good will come out of that. The third one I found really good, actually, the third episode, which was about these different improvisation patterns, which is what I've been searching for, really. So he has this 5-4-3-2-1 system. Where if you're landing on the 5th degree of the scale, we'll do it in C major, because that's how I've written it out for now. If you're landing on the 5th degree of the scale, in G, you do this pattern. If you're landing on 4, you go, for now we'll start on 5 and descend to 4. So you go. if you go down to 3, you go down to this one. Sorry. You go down to 2. So each one has a little reply associated with it. 5, go down. 4, da-da-da. 2, 3, the dominant on the way up. 2, triplet leading from 7 to 2 chromatically. And then apparently you can put it all together, which is pretty cool. Something like that. So I'm not sure exactly how to implement this apart from maybe trying to fit it in to different chords and see what happens. So if we're in B flat, let's try and just do that over our normal chord progression that we've been learning. And if we don't land on the right chord tone, we just move around. So from the top, maybe I'll just do bass note. I'm in the wrong key. No, I'm not. No, I am. Okay, I thought it sounded weird. So now we're into D. Now just put it all together. And then etc. You can see how it kind of flows nicely. That's pretty cool. So now let's do it in the middle section. So you've got your the range is difficult for me. See exactly how this would be useful because it gives you so many options. So you go into at any point in the scale you can use any of those launching off points. So let's say at any point I'm just playing the scale, I go to the 5, I can go from the 5 to the pattern, or I can go from the 5 to the 4 to the pattern, or I can go from the 5 to the 4 to the 3 to the pattern, or I can start right at the bottom of the pattern of that one. And then, kind of thing. And then I could go 5, 4, 3, 2, etc. So if I'm hitting the 1, I can be like, or I can be like, if I'm hitting the 2, I can be, or I can be straight on to, thing. If I'm hitting 3, there's loads of options. Be right at the end of a phrase, I suppose, but also in the middle, this kind of idea. Or again, so no matter how you connect it up, I mean, you can just go through all of them basically. There seems to be a place for basically any chord tone at any point in these patterns, and then you're able to take the reins, you know, at some point. But this is a cool one, and it's one I'm definitely going to think about practicing. That already sounds so good. And now if I do the full thing. and some more kind of authentic sounding jazz going on there. But it's all still very early days. So, I mean, that's where I'm at over Christmas with my jazz, basically. And so if you watched the end, thank you. I am struggling with a bit of a headache. It's been a pretty intense Christmas for many reasons. In terms of Chopin is now being relegated to a daily practice until I'm to the point where I'm comfortable playing it, which I'm getting pretty close. But what's coming up next is Ravel Sonatine, Beethoven Sonata. This is the one in A flat, and gonna keep composing that rondo. I'm looking forward to finishing that. Okay, I think that's it. So in terms of jazz, that's all I've got so far. But I've got a wealth of videos to get through that I can kind of explore and talk about. So tune in for more, I suppose, if you find it interesting. And I hope you had a nice Christmas, and see you soon.